Can I call you Rose? 'Cause you're sweet like a flower in bloom.
My name is Una Wilson, and I'm a senior at Wake Forest. I'm majoring in biology, and I'm minoring in journalism and environmental studies, and I'm super passionate about fungi. Fungi have provided kind of a basis for the way that I interact with and understand the world, and also my human relationships. And that's been my primary draw to fungi, is how I believe they model and mirror human systems of existence. So I know that sounds really anthropocentric, but I think it's really cool that nature is really a reflection of itself in all of its beings. And when I first learned about fungi, it was through a podcast. It was a Radiolab podcast by Jad Abumrad and Robert Krolich about mycorrhizal networks, which are a type of mushroom structure that connect plants through their roots to one another. And they allow trees, plants, shrubs, whatever, to send nutrients to each other through their fungal tubes. And so this goes completely against the claim of natural selection, that every organism is an individual fighting to beat the other one down, because all these plants and trees are sharing rather than competing in the way that we thought before. And I heard that, and it changed my world, because I was wow, a forest is one living organism, if you think about it. And these are trees and plants of completely different species. And so from there, I was just so interested. Well, what else do fungi provide in terms of meaning and metaphor to my life and the lives of others? And that's really how I got into mycology. And then I started learning the science of it and learning more about mushrooms and foraging. But it really all started with that one aha moment of whoa, trees are talking to each other? That is insane. I wanted to do something like this. This has been in the works for probably about 2 years. Or when I got back from studying abroad, I did a research project in New York City on the topic of how fungi can inspire social change. And I met so many fascinating people who had devoted a good portion of their career towards interrogating innovation with fungi. And that came in the form of art, science and technology and engineering and business and activism and social justice. And I mean, just how mushrooms connect trees in a forest, I felt then so connected to all these different parts of mushroom culture almost, but it was so mainstream that I felt it had a place here on campus too. And I really wanted to educate, but also empower people to view mushrooms as more than just decomposers, as more than just a symbol of death, and instead to think of them as our friends, or at the very least our allies. And I knew that if fungi had provided such a powerful conduit for my own drive to initiate social change, to vitalize systems of equity, meaning community gardens or community-based action, that other people must have felt that too. So I wanted to ask that question to anybody who had related to fungi in some manner in their lives. How do you think fungi can inspire social change? And then after surveying all those people, I got a broader sense of yeah, fungi are inspiring social change just because they inspire people to be different, to think differently, to think about the world differently. I know that sounds a little shroomy. You don't have to take shrooms to have fungi alter your brain crazy ways. I think that's powerful. And I wanted to bring that kind of, just diversity of engagement to Wake Forest, because I know so many people were interested in so many things that fungi could easily fit into their interests. So a lot of the misunderstandings around fungi is just lack of education. And so it's been so wonderful to hear people like actually have interest for it. It kind of like shows me that like festivals like this are positive for like Wake Camp.